Let's start by building our donation form. A licensing note before we get started. You'll need a Gravity Forms Pro or Elite license to collect payments with your donation form, and which version you need will depend on which payment gateway you choose to use. Also, Gravity Forms has a template for donation forms, so you can follow the link down below to get a head start on creating this donation form. Some things you might want to collect on your form include at least the donor's name and email address. You may also want to give them a place to add a note and an option maybe to display their donation anonymously. And then of course you'll need a payment field. So let's get started. Give the form a title. And then let's start with a name field and an email address field, and we'll make both of those required. Next, let's add a single line text field. For the donation message. Now you could give them a paragraph text field if you wanted to allow them more space for their comment. I'm going to leave this optional so that they don't have to include a message if they don't want to. I'm going to add in the description that the donation message will be displayed publicly. Next, I'm going to add a checkbox field to give the donor an option to display the donation anonymously. I'm going to take off the field label and just put a space in there, and then narrow it down to just one choice that says display this donation anonymously. And then a description to let them know that the fundraiser will still be able to see their name, but the public display of the donation will show anonymous. And then finally, we want to add the donation field. So we'll need some pricing fields here. We've got a few options. So you'll want to add a product field to your form. There's a few different types of product fields you can choose from. You could add a single product field if you wanted only one amount to be available for the donation form. You could do either a drop down or a radio button field, which would allow you to suggest various pricing levels. And then you could do a user-defined price that allows your donor to enter any amount they choose. Also, Gravity Perks offers a add-on called Gravity Forms Price Range, which allows you to set a minimum and maximum price on the user-defined price. So if you wanted to make sure that they stay within certain bounds, you could add that on to this form so that you have some limits on how much or how little they give. The hidden and calculation fields we won't use in this form, so I'm not going to cover details on those. So I'm going to choose the radio button field. And I'm going to edit the choices to set 3 different levels here. I'm going to do $5, $10, and $20. And then I'm going to do one more, which is other. Now in these pricing fields, Gravity Forms doesn't support an other option out of the box like they do with the standard radio button field. So instead I'm going to do a small workaround by just adding another option here that says other and is set to $0. And then next we'll add another product field. This one will be amount of donation. And the field type on this one will be user-defined price. Now this field I'm going to make required under certain conditions. So we'll go into conditional logic and we will say if the donation amount selected is other, then we're going to show this field and require that it be filled out. Next, we'll add a total field. And then we can take a look and your form should look something like this. Once you've got everything that you need on your form, you can add your preferred payment gateway. Gravity Forms integrates with Stripe, PayPal, Authorize.net, and other payment processors. So once you've chosen which payment gateway you want to use, you can install the required add-on to Gravity Forms and configure the feed. Now, once the form is complete, you'll want to set up your confirmations and notifications. You could say something like, thanks for your donation. It will help support our important work for the community. And then in the notifications, it automatically has an admin notification set up. You probably will also want to add a notification that will send a receipt to your donors. And you can do that by adding new there. Now, once you've updated your confirmation messages and your notifications, you'll want to enter a few test entries so you'll be able to see what they look like in your view. Once you've got that all set, head on over to the next lesson and we'll set up the view.